Welcome to Advance the Dream, our weekly community chat, where we celebrate legacy makers and family heroes who are actively advancing the dream in the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We talk about health, challenges, highlights, and heroes in an intergenerational fashion in hopes that his legacy of hope and equality continue to live on. This weekly series, powered by the Force for Health Network, is aired live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then shared afterwards at advancethedream.com. Now, let's meet our hosts, Force for Health Network co-founders, Dr. Robert Gillio and Lucy Howell, alongside our National Director, Joshua Williams Jr., as we dive into this week's topic.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Lucy Howell. I'm joined by Joshua Williams, and this is Advance the Dream, a weekly interactive community chat where we get to talk about heroes and highlights and issues in the spirit and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, so that we can continue every day to make sure that we are addressing inequities and the things that we need to continue to talk about, right? Health and wealth issues that affect us all. I'm based here in Tucson, Arizona. My fearless partner, Dr. Robert Gillio, co-founder of the Force for Health, is out and about doing as he should during the summertime, which is spending some very precious time with his family. And so we will let him off the hook this week. And sorry about the lateness there. There was a little bit of delay with the platform, the streaming platform that we've got going, but we are here. And like the title of today's deal is called Summertime Freestyle. So, there's lots of things to talk about. Josh, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lucy. Glad to be here.
Yep. And where are you out of the panhandle of Florida today? Are you in New Orleans or?
Reporting out of the panhandle of Florida in Gadsden County.
Okay. And what's it like down there? Here in Tucson, we're about to lean into the high teen week. So every year we've got about 1 or 2 weeks that'll be like 110 and up. Yeah. And that's the week that we're leaning into. What's it like down there?
It's 97 and rising.
And what's the humidity down there?
Well, it's not as humid as it is in New Orleans or in Arizona, but we got that kind of, because it's coming off the water. It's not as humid as you would think in some other areas it is. So it's tolerable, but in the 97s and the 98, it's hot. It's really hot. Yeah.
It just feels hot. But it is summertime, and I always think that summertime, there's just this kind of looser schedule. I mean, if you are in and around, K through 12 families, if you've got kids, and then even when the kids are out, there's still this kind of like between Memorial Day and Labor Day, mm-hmm. for us adults, yes, we continue to work every week is no different. But yes, vacations are planned in between Memorial Day and Labor Day. And if you're lucky enough and fortunate enough to be able to pack your bags and go do something wonderful, many people, don't go on vacation. So it's simply just this kind of like period of loose scheduling. And for me, I'm always leaning into summer, like, what can I learn? How can I enrich myself? How can I explore and experience things and enrich my mind and my perspectives? And so I just figured today's topic was kind of like a summer freestyle deal.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some things that I'd love to share with you. We can watch them, talk about them, but with this whole tone of what we're all about here at the Force for Health. Learn it, live it, and share it. And it sounds easy, but it's something that I always have to say, like, okay, I'm just reminding myself. Just because I know something doesn't mean I live it, right? Mm-hmm. And if I know something of importance, it's always nice to share it. So we'll just kind of constantly be pulling that tone into our efforts and what we do. What do you come to the table today, this weekend? What's on your mind?
Oh, just glad to know. Like I said, I start off. We're glad to be here, Lucy. Glad to be here. You know, you're in the course of a week. You have so many different obstacles that challenge you. People leaving us that were unexpected to leave, and so forth. So, I think every time that we get an opportunity to speak and speak life into anything or someone, we should actually do that. That's why I'm glad that we have at least a weekly conversation about how we could actually enhance a person's livelihood, or how we could actually help them to move to the next level. And that stuff is very, very important because we don't know whether we will be here tomorrow. We don't know if we'll be here next week. We don't know any of that. So what we have to do is take each moment at at face value, meaning from the standpoint that we have to cherish every moment of our life that we have an opportunity to. And that's the same thing with family. And I'm just glad to actually be able to actually once again on in this week of June of 2024, being able to actually stand and actually be able to actually try to encourage and enhance the lives of individuals in which we do every day.
And I know that it's something that you live in, obviously, like every day. We're sitting here on Saturday, June 15th, sandwiched between yesterday, which was World Blood Donor Day, right? It was also Flag Day. I always kind of lead with World Blood Donor Day. And tomorrow, Father's Day, right? And I had a wonderful date night with my husband last night, and we will be cooking some dinner for my dad as we always do on Sundays. But as we lean in, and it should be way more than just a weekend, but it is what it is when we talk about holidays, just this whole
Mhm.
appreciation of dads in our life. Um, or maybe they're not in your life anymore, but maybe you can just take some time to reflect about the
Mhm.
impacts and the efforts and what a father has meant in your life. That's just kind of what I've come to the table with. I am feeling like a bad citizen because if I look at yesterday, just as World Blood Donor Day, I at the beginning of the year I said to myself, I'm going to donate blood once a quarter. Um, and it's already 2 quarters in, and I haven't done so once. That's part of this whole thing that we are just trying to talk about. It's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to say that you're going to do something, and then if it doesn't happen, you're not like, oh, I am, a loser, and I give up. I still have a whole year to try and get my 4 uh, blood donations in. And that's what I'm trying to do. If we say something at the Force for Health, then I'm just going to try and do it. So I'm reminded that I am behind the schedule for
I'll
my
tell you
blood.
what, Lucy, I'll challenge you because I gave a couple of weeks ago, but I'll challenge you that therefore you will have something to look forward to. And I will send you a reminder through our app that we're waiting to see that you giving your card for stamping for the purpose of giving blood.
Yeah,
Uh,
perfect. Well, I've already signed up for
Hmm.
on June 21st. You
Mhm.
know, we did a big event of which we're going to go ahead and watch the recap of this event. We did a big event with the Red Cross of Southern Arizona this past week. It was fabulous. It was called Sickle Cell Advancing Together, the Arizona Community Roundtable. It was held at a historic um, uh, site here in Tucson called the Dunbar Pavilion. It was
Mhm.
the first segregated school for African American students, and it's gone through a renovation. And it's interesting as we look at, we can go to New Orleans, Josh, or we can go to Gadsden,
Mhm.
or we can go up to Cleveland, or I don't know what the status is in State College, but it seems like most communities will have one, two, or three, depending on how large. There's in Pima County, I can think of another center called the Liggins Community Center that are kind of focused on the African American community
Mhm.
that can serve in and and offer programs and such. So as we look at trying to reach and share the messages and the intention of Advance the Dream, it's so much more than just a broadcast communication out. You really got to get the folks on the ground there, engaged. And again, it's not that difficult in places like Arizona. Our statewide rate is about 4% African American. And so the thing about that is that those African American consortiums that are already together pretty much can reach 80% of the community, right? Through the faith-based churches, through their organizations, et cetera. So I continue to, I think, Josh, as we launch this program together, and this is our 17th episode here, right? And so what I'm feeling is happening is that, and I'll challenge you to create these perhaps monthly Advance the Dream committees or teams within each region. So let's go ahead and kick this off. Now, this is a 10-minute long video, but it's significant because it is an example of a community coming together and talking about, it is, World Sickle Cell Day coming up on June 19th. And I know that we've talked about it, but again, let's let it breathe and let's let it continue to teach us, because stigma is a big deal. And stigma for those living with sickle cell can be a barrier to go seek help or to perhaps thrive or to perhaps, live with confidence. And so that was the topic of our Advancing the Roundtable. Sorry about that. So I want to bring that up and play the recap and get a sense of what partners were at the table, and then challenge perhaps Gadsden, challenge some of the communities out there. If you aren't actively supporting and reaching out and educating on this topic, we've got the content and the ability to do so. Even if this video got played, right, over in your county, it is a reminder that sickle cell is not contagious, okay? So let's just go ahead and start there. And that medical providers and the medical community really do need to be more apt and ready to address it and to be more empathetic towards it. So let's go ahead and play it. It's 10 minutes long. Relax, go grab some coffee, and we'll talk about it.
Sounds good.
Make this full screen here. And we will get. I'm assuming you can hear it?
Nope.
This happened last time, Josh, for some reason. And, the browser has lost connection to the screen share audio. Try sharing your screen again. Restart the browser if this continues to be a problem. Lovely tech. It is live. Let me go ahead and try this again. Okay. And if the sound doesn't come through, I might have to go ahead and restart this browser. So give me 1 second.
No problem.
And you give me the thumbs up if you can hear the sound, okay?
Gotcha.
Can't hear it?
No, ma'am.
Darn it. Okay, we're going to do one more thing here. I'm just going to take that and we're going to start a new browser. Maybe I'll go incognito. Share this. Okay. No?
No. No volume.
very interesting and strange. Okay, so anyways, we'll do it the old-fashioned way here. If there's no volume, we're just going to go ahead and speak to it, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And let me, I'm going to kind of mute it just because I don't know if it's coming in. There we go. Because I didn't know if it was coming in at all. But basically, there were several groups that came in, and it was led by American Red Cross, and it was sponsored by Banner Health Systems out here. And we had Barbecue Brother John's, and then, of course, the Dunbar Pavilion, the Arizona Achievers Foundation, the Blood Alliance, and Force for Health. Half of this was really meant to go ahead, keep playing. I'm talking faster than the video here. But again, the planning group, all we wanted to do was let's end SCD stigma together now. Courtney Sloniker up in the top right corner is the executive director. I love her to death. I mean, actually going way back, she played on my daughter's basketball team. This is how old I am. Okay, she was a senior and my daughter was a freshman, and then years later we actually served on the Pima County Tucson Women's Commission together. But currently now she is executive director at Red Cross, and it's been wonderful to work with her. And we've been working very closely with Tanya Knight and with Sarah Speakermeyer on the bottom, who represents Banner Health, and Tanya is a psychiatrist that came out. But again, to come together as a community to discuss the issues with sickle cell patients and how we can help them perhaps. I'm trying to go full screen with this so we don't see all that other stuff. That's much better, isn't it? Okay. Continue playing this. And just a quote that came together today to talk about it, to eliminate it. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take collective action to do that. And this is a great start. And again, now this is going to be the first of quarterly get-togethers that we'll be able to do down at the Dunbar region together. And Dr. Knight says, the reality is for the people who know about the stigma the most are the people that have experienced it. So us as a medical community, we have to help, and she was very appreciative and for the opportunity to be there today. So then we heard from two folks. Crystal Jackson is one of the field directors that works for the Red Cross. She's actively seeking partners and hosts to host blood drives. And there's a huge call out, particularly in the summer, for blood donations from the African American and Latino communities. And so, of course, she emphasized education. And then Akila Gilbert, who is a STD patient herself and also one of the lead community health workers with the Sickle Cell Foundation of Arizona, was able to speak on how important it is to have these conversations. So Crystal was all and has always been all about education, the key to get people to donate, understand the stigmas, debunk those, and understand that the Red Cross is here to save lives. 1 pint of blood can save up to 3 lives. It's crazy that you can sit there for 30 minutes, give your blood. It is the only asset that we can easily reproduce, and it saves lives. So I thought that was great.
Mm-hmm.
And Akila, as a SCD patient, know your body, know what you need, know the systems, know how to work it. Don't fight against it. So that was the first half. This was a 2-hour deal from 2 to 4 last Friday. And then the second half of the meeting was all about celebrating our app that we created for them. So Moses, who is the founder and the president of the Sickle Cell Foundation, he lived through this disease. His son had sickle cell, and and passed away. And that's kind of where he comes with this passion and this vigor to want to help families in this regard. But he had kind of scoped out the architect of what he wanted to do. And he wanted to share this because he just feels like he's come so far. The pillars really on the left, working together for all, and then a common purpose for all, where we can kind of connect the band up top, person, family, support groups, and local communities, with then the resources that could support it, was important for him to want to share. Because now we've come to last August is when we started working on it, and now we're up to building. So he's overwhelmed with joy and pride to be able to develop and now deliver this amazing, unifying, empowering resource to the community. I feel so blessed to be surrounded by such strong partners. Then he introduced me. I went in and was able to have a really fun time. We did some interactive games, and we were able to introduce Rob from afar, and came into the event with some words of wisdom. And it was really cut up there. Rob was really encouraging folks, oh, it's so hard to build an app. You guys did such a great job. We've done it. It was a challenge and we did it, but the more difficult task is really to then get it used so that people use it and can give feedback on it. And that's really what we're here about, is just trying to get folks to give us some feedback, and the app is there for them to use. And when I say app, it's more than an app, it's a full platform. So you could log in on the computer, you could use it on the app. These attendees are awesome. Banner was able to sponsor 3 $100 gift cards. So there were people in the facility, and then there were about 20, 25 people online, and we were able to say, like, okay, download the app, come on in. The first person that posts in the feed will win a $100 gift card. And so we kind of had that live interactive component. And then we brought up an interactive quiz, and the first person that went through with the highest score was able to win. And we had a tie, and so we were able to give out actually 2 more $100 gift cards. This was Sam Ross and Frida Marshall, who Sam is very involved with, like the Divine Nine, that I know that you're very familiar with, the 9 historic sororities and fraternities. In the Greek system, and then Frida is the CEO of the. It's worth noting here that there has been some tremendous efforts that have been put forth to renovate this incredible campus, because this was an old school, right? And we all know that schools are an incredible resource. But then as urbanization happens, as time happens, things can wither and not get paid attention to. And a few years ago, there has been an effort to reinvest and kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Renovate, to renovate the facility. And so this room that we had, and it hosts about 60, 70 people, but it was just a beautiful, beautiful room. They have a huge pavilion too that's going under some work. And then they also have, Josh, a computer and media room. And so I will be talking to Sam and Frida about establishing an Advance the Dream STEAM Team You Do Matter type of presence over there. So help start expanding this. And then also, centers like this are perfect for serving teens and seniors. Except of the multi-generational advanced programs that we were talking about. Come on. Geez, having some tech issues today. Oh, there's the play button. I was looking for the play button. Okay. Um, as I said, they were both so thrilled to help host the event there. Connecting, serving, enriching the entire community is what we do.
Hmm.
That was Sam and Frida with the Kappas. And I loved this. Sarah then came up, and she's on the board of Sickle Cell Foundation of Arizona. She's been so pivotal in helping kind of guide and give her feedback on the development of the app. She comes with a title of COO, Chief Operating Officer for Banner Health Plans, which is a nonprofit in and of itself, but they are basically a Medicaid and Medicare service provider.
Mm-hmm.
Probably over 500, 600,000 patients over 6 states. And so it was just wonderful to have her insight, her expertise. And then she was really honored and appreciative of and being able to just kind of watch and to help Moses's dream come across. And I love that I captured these pictures. Moses, you're one of the most compassionate, caring, dedicated people I know. It's been amazing to be here along your side to witness your dream come into reality with the 360 SCD Hub app. Congratulations. Love that as we do anything in the Force for Health or Advance the Dream, and as you've been able to do with your You Do Matter, many of the things that we're trying to do is engage many types of leaders, right? From the city, the county, the state, private sector, nonprofit. So we did have state governor office representation with Tanya Hamilton, who is the cabinet executive officer from Katie Hobbs' Office of Youth, Family, and Youth and Family and Faith come out. So that was wonderful. And of course, this is just my little deal. We actually did that little honor hoop as we toasted with champagne, the celebration. So that was it. I thought that it was wonderful. And these next couple of slides are just going to be like a photo album of folks who attended. But Moses did end, with closing. You must love your sickle cell, because only then can you know it, so you can learn more and you can thrive with it. We're gonna have to get this sound.
We'll see. We do have a question that arose. If you can answer.
Yeah, of course.
The stigma that exists in Tucson. Could you explain and expound on the stigma that Tucson is experiencing?
It's interesting as we go through and just kind of follow some of these. Now, we are normally joined by our physician partner, Dr. Robert Gillio. So I'm just going to put a caveat on this. I am not a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I am a mom and a passionate population health specialist, or a population health advocate. Mm-hmm. But from what I've learned working on this project is and when I say in Tucson, it'll be interesting because I'm pretty certain that these statements will go to most families living with sickle cell, not just Tucson. But it's my understanding that when somebody has sickle cell, because they are so isolated, it's very rare that they'll have buddies that have sickle cell too. So it's not something that they can talk about. So it is a condition that, and let me explain this, because this, I think, and I showed it to you last time, Josh, and you said that page right there by itself helps.
Yes.
But sickle cell from UZ 2024. I'm just logging into the sickle cell site. Because they're so lonely, they tend and not be able to talk to many folks about it. They have a mental health type of issue, thinking that they don't belong or thinking that there's something wrong with them. And then people that don't understand what sickle cell is might be like, whoa, that's weird. Like, why is this person complaining? It's fine. And like, why are they always sick? And something must be wrong with them. And ooh, they have sickle cell. And I don't want to hang out with them because I don't want to get it. I mean, those two things coming from the person with sickle cell, feeling lonely and isolated and maybe not really given the support and resources that can help them. Hey, this is not your fault. This is a DNA transferred condition that both your parents have to have the trait. And if it happens, then I'm going to share this page right here and kind of bring this model up. You're seeing that, right? I'm not on my screen right now.
Yes.
So this is an example of what, if you are not living with sickle cell, your blood is flowing nice and easy through the arteries. This is healthy blood flow. Okay. But if I go to the next slide here, because sickle cell is formed differently, it almost looks like a C, there's a higher propensity for them to clog and to get stuck. And when that happens, this is called a sickle cell induced thrombus and radial artery occlusion. And obviously, when things constrict, you can see back there, the blood can't get in, right? It's stuck. And this causes a lot of pain. So pain crisis management, and I'm just kind of going through there so you can see that. This is the main reason why sickle cell patients are more apt to feel these pain crises than regular people. That's it. It's a simple explanation of having somewhat, and I love this explanation too. So let me just go ahead and share this again. Present, share screen. I'll go to sickle cell. And again, as we look at the sickle cell site, this is a fully free site. So, I thought I was logged in. Sickle cell funding. This was a HRSA-funded, HRSA, that's a Health Resource and Human Administration funded app and website. So this is the full website. And if I come up to the kids zone, and I kind of open this little comic book down here. This is a great little story. Moses's son was named Victor. So that's why we kind of framed this little story around Victor. And it was really kind of about empowering the family and then educating folks to know. So you've got your little stories of regular blood. But see, this sickle, that's what happens in sickle cell patients. They just have a misshapen blood cell. And what happens is that, just like that picture we just saw, it can kind of just start crashing together, and they're just not as strong. You can see this little picture down here, that a nice healthy blood cell can maybe carry 5 blueberries of oxygen, right? Whereas a sickle cell is just not as strong.
Gotcha.
So hopefully those types of images help address, why stigma might be out there. It really is a myth, if you can catch it or not. Curious, and where did that question come in from? Because I didn't see it on the comments here.
Question came from Linda, a member of You Do Matter.
Oh, yeah, perfect. And I'm going to share the rest of these really quickly, just so that we can get everybody who participated a little airtime. It was, let's see, mothers, daughters, community members. And then, so what's interesting here is, gosh, I am having some issues today. Many health-related organizations, particularly academic or nonprofits, receive these grants. And then they use those grants to build something cool. But usually, not usually, always, grants have a beginning, middle, and end.
Hmm.
So this particular grant was good for 4 years. So we will be supporting this grant for 4 years. But then what? It's going to die and go away? No. We want to create a new revenue stream that can then go ahead and create funds that will allow us to go ahead and sustain this beyond. And one of the ways that we're going to do that is launching the Virtual Wellness Club. Now, this is a separate app that will be part of the Reality Health Games, but this is really getting into like a virtual wellness club where you can really track your meals, you could track workouts. Just think of, Fitbit meets Noom meets, Weight Watchers type of deal. So the free app that we created is like an academy, all the courses, and you can earn points, and it's got trackers and all of the things over there to learn it and live it. And then we'll be launching this here probably in the next 2 weeks, and that'll be fun to launch them into the Reality Health Games. We had some photographers there that we gave credits to, and ask them to join for free. So that's one thing that I just wanted to go over. And I'm bummed that we're having a sound issue, because then that's probably going to affect the other videos that I wanted to show. And I don't really want to voice over the other things.
Gotcha.
So let's just spend the last, 14 minutes here talking about our dads as we lean into Father's Day, because
I'm glad you mentioned that, Lucy, because before I end up, before we begin talking about them, I wanted to definitely extend an opportunity for all our listeners to join in next week as we look to try to honor a lot of those dads. And we're inviting all dads to come on next week, next Saturday morning, and participate with us as we salute our dads all across America. I am actually in the process right now of inviting some of the men of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated to join in with us. Especially some of the past national presidents will be joining us. I'm actually trying to get a representative of the national president of Delta Sigma Theta to actually dial in as well as one of our guests, just to pay homage to our dads. And I'm happy to say that we are expecting a nice turnout to be with us, Lucy. I know that you guys were actually busy this week, because I tried to reach out to you all to explain what I was trying to do, but I said, all right, I can speak for them on this one. So so I already sent out the invitation that we should have a nice Dad's Day next Saturday on the Force for Health, Advance the Dream.
Okay, perfect. Because, my husband was already trying to get special treatment last night, because he's like, hey, wait a minute, it's Father's Day weekend. I was like, it was Father's Day on Sunday, but he calls it the weekend. And so, this is just now a way to expand it over the week. I guess, right?
Give us our flowers.
Yeah, right? Exactly. But let's just talk about that. You're a dad. It's the hardest thing to come up with something that a dad would really appreciate. What's a message that you can tell us wives and us daughters and sons? What does a dad really want on Father's Day?
I think dads are different, and it's according to the geographical location that you are in that actually determines what that dad is interested in. I've been, around a lot of distinguished gentlemen who are dads. Some of them like golf. So, you give them a day on golf away from everybody, just an opportunity out there doing it. They love it. You have some that are very, very content with being alone, going fishing, sitting out on a lake fishing. And then you got some that's actually just into the very, very small things of just wanting to see their grandkids having a good time. So I think there's a plethora of different things. There's not one thing that you can get for all of dads all over the country. I think it's a mirror of his image is what you're looking to facilitate, and that is from the standpoint of whatever he likes or what he desires is what he's going to be the most happiest with. And so, my dad, from the standpoint, if he got a sheet of paper with his great grandkids writing on it, "Happy Father's Day, Granddad, love you," he'd take that and plaster it on his mirror. And he wouldn't even look at the other things that we sticking money in there and all that. He's not even interested in that. He's more excited about that little piece of paper that has the crayon writing on it from his great great grandkid. They're just different.
It's interesting that you say that, because you're right. I just know for my own dad, it's very and you froze there for a second, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
wondering if I should remove you, and I'm going to watch you backstage.
Remove, yeah, remove.
There you go. Like I said, for Mother's Day, I think it's pretty easy for most moms. I mean, flowers, massage, and no decisions to be made are usually a nice gift all the way around the table. Candles, massage, perfume, um, and no decisions to be made just because we're mothering it all day long or all year long. For fathers, as we lean in, we and Josh is back in.
Mhm.
I was going to say, for mothers, it's easy because we tend to, since we mother all day long, and not that dads don't dad all year long, but for
Mhm.
mothers, I'm always like, it's not difficult. You guys know what my favorite flower is. Don't let me have to do anything all day long. Don't ask me to do anything all day long. And if there's a gift card for a nice massage, candles, and flowers, that's it. And
That's all, huh?
I think like 90% of women would all agree to that. But
Yeah.
you're right. I mean, I asked my husband is a golfer, and I asked him if he wanted to go golf, and he didn't really want to do that. I mean, he works all week, and a wonderful day to him is just doing nothing.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like, but that's every Sunday, that's your day to relax. And
That's
so,
what they're content with. Yeah. They're
I
content.
will be making dinner, as I always do, for my dad
Mhm.
coming over, and then of course Glenn that night. But you know, these kids, these kids, I would just like to see. And when I say kids, I don't care if you're 45 years old, or
Mhm.
if you're 13 years old, or if you're 8 years old. I think what any parent would like is just some proactivity from them. And like what you just said, a handwritten card, isn't a handwritten anything? A handwritten card, to me, is the most special thing that a kid can do, because we don't expect them to pay for anything. We don't need monetary gifts,
Mhm.
but we just want to see some minutes invested
Mhm.
so that they can transfer a thought of appreciation.
And I think that's what it boils down to more, Lucy, than anything. It's just that appreciation, because we don't get paid to be parents. It's our duty. It's our job. And I think the only thing that we ask back from that is basically the level of appreciation that what we're doing is not in vain, and it is appreciated some kind of way.
And it depends on, the age of your children, and there's just so many variables. But as we look to close out the Saturday before Father's Day, if you are watching, I don't care what skin color you are, right? It doesn't matter. This is a human being statement. Um, appreciate your dad. Do something. Spend some time thinking about what you can do to put a smile on their face.
Hmm.
That might be just hanging out with them.
Yes.
That might be leaving them alone. But, with the intention of bringing joy to a dad is really, I saw one of these TikToks the other day, and the dad was bending over, putting on his shoes. He had holes in his socks. He had holes in his shoes. He had kind of holes in his outfit. And, the mom was like, how you doing? You need anything? He's like, oh no, that's okay. I got it. I'm good. I'm good. Because they, as the provider of the family, oftentimes they put their needs behind everybody else.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
so come on, families, let's, step up and do something that would put a smile on your father's face. I look at Martin Luther King in the background of both of us,
Mhm.
and what would you think his message would be for Father's Day?
Probably the same as it has always been. Being able to appreciate life and what God has given you thus far, and don't take it for granted.
Yeah, and if you're like Josh and I in our 40s and 50s, I don't even know. Are you in your 50s yet?
Yes, ma'am. I finally topped the 50. Yes.
Okay, well, welcome to the club. Okay, welcome to the club. If you are like Josh and I, and you're fortunate enough to still have your parents around, we probably are on single digit. I mean, our parents are probably 78, 80,
Hmm.
right? Mid 80s, which,
Hmm.
if you think about that, it's sad for me when I think, wow, I might have 10, 15 years. My dad's 78. Okay. If I even only work with the 10 number, that'll put him to 88. The 90s are incredible, but you're not
Hmm.
going to be jumping around, probably still fishing and hunting and golfing when you're 90. Maybe, right?
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's true. That's true.
But, I look at my dad at 78, and, I want to embrace every single year and every single, I can't believe that I will have less than, you know, 15 Father's Days left,
Hmm.
basically, is what I'm saying. And
Hmm.
so, and that's not even guaranteed. Something can happen tomorrow, right? We never ever know anything.
That is
I'm
true.
excited, Josh, because the legacy book that I've worked on for so long, celebrating a gift,
Mhm.
the hardcover books will be in tomorrow, and then we'll be able to celebrate that, and then we'll really kind of kick off the legacy bookmaker challenge finally, and
Mhm.
that'll be an incredible way. I think that could be a beautiful platform to focus on next week, is challenging some folks to do the legacy books for their dads. That
Yes.
could be super
Mhm.
interesting. um, so anyways, on that note, it is 8:58. Final words, Josh.
Oh, and of course, on the in the hiatus of Men's Health Month,
Right.
I would like to continue to challenge our men to actually be more healthier, to look, to live, to learn what they eat, what they're putting in their body, so that we can all be a healthier organization as it relates to a society of people.
That's right. And my takeaway is I'm going to have a backup in case videos sound don't play when I'm screen sharing, and really just pop that video into the studio platform
Mhm.
so we can go, because I'm bummed that we weren't able to share two more pieces that we were intending to do so, but we'll just go ahead and pop them in next week. I do think that the recap of the sickle cell deal was very important,
Oh yeah,
because the
yes.
thing with events is, events happen and then they die and they go away.
Mhm.
And when you can really put some effort into extracting the takeaways and the quotes, with pictures, then it's a mechanism to go continue to serve and share, and to be a mechanism for education and more information. So that's why we went ahead and did that extended recap so that folks can share. I would love for you could share that in Gadsden, Josh.
Mhm.
You can use it as a community chat starter. Um,
Yeah.
and let your community know that this is a free resource and that the folks are out. The other thing is, I will just remind as we lean in, it is a lot of folks have June 19th off, which I was pleasantly surprised to see. I didn't realize that. I know the University of Arizona, or at least several folks at the University of Arizona, that they had it off. So we've shared this before, and we will be sharing it again. I'm looking right here at Juneteenth basics. Lean in, know your history, understand that Juneteenth is so much more than just some random, soft date of when the slaves were freed. There's a deeper story there, and you can go to forceforhealth.com with Juneteenth basics and watch this little 5-minute video presented by Larry Starks, one of our former guests here from a couple weeks ago. He is super, super, super busy because the Juneteenth festival is tonight at Keno Sports Park here in Tucson from 4 to 10. So Glenn and I are excited to go out there and be part of that. So
Make sure I tell him hello.
yes,
Me as well, please.
yes, sir. And then there's another gentleman that I'll be bringing to the table, Sam Ross, who you saw in the sickle cell with the Dunbar, between the Kappas, the Omegas, the Manny with the Alphas. We've got, like I said, the Advance the Dream core foundational team pretty much intact here in Tucson. So I'll challenge you, Josh, to go. Well, you've got them all ready to go, and always have been. So we got to kick this competition into gear this July and August, and start giving away some prizes. That's it, folks. Saturday, June 15th. Have a pleasant, wonderful, healthy weekend. Remember to advance the dream, be a force for health, and be well. We'll see you next week. Happy Father's Day, everybody.